one and all. I am Niveda, I am from 9th A. I am going to talk about an interesting topic that all must know before election. At first, I have some questions to ask. First, is it rational for an individual citizen to vote? Is there moral obligation, duty to vote, and moral obligation regarding how to vote? It is permissible to buy, trade or sell votes. It is justifiable for a government to compel citizens to vote who have a rights to vote. Should everyone have equal right to vote? These are not easy questions to answer. Most of the articles are not clear enough. And now my topic starts. While there are some who genuinely cast their vote, and many people sit back and relax on voting days, and others compel into voting for a particular candidate, the importance of vote is lost among the hustle and bustle of a city life. People sit and complain about this and that and make suggestions that the government should change this and that, but they don't know the power of changing this and that in their hands by vote. The election comes and goes without half of the population paying attention. The highest recorded voters turnout in India was recorded in 2014 for the Lok Sabha election at 66.4%. This means close to the half of the population does not pay attention. After 69 years of independence, India has not proved itself to have laws and orders. The fault lies between the people and the leaders. People who are driven by the religious belief rather than what is good for the country. We choose people who drives the country forward and still upholding the Indian culture. But it rather matters. Without paying attention to the upliftment of poor, helping the aged, education, water, preserving the environment, roads and urban developments and so on. So go and vote. India is a democratic country. India is built on the foundation of election. Our parliament and legislative is of the people, for the people and by the people. Voting is a constitutional right that we are privileged to have. We take it for granted, but the constitution given us right to elect who we want and right to make changes. So I believe every vote has its counts. Thank you to one and all for giving me this wonderful opportunity to talk about the current situation. Thanking you and Jai Hind.
A meritorious morning to one and all present here. I am Shohan from 9G is here to speak about the topic Each Vote Counts. Election in India is not a ritual passage that the country has to go, though rather it's one of the grandest festivals which celebrates the essence of democracy. Like festivals are held with considerable preparation and time at hand, so is the Indian election. The remarkable thing about this is the fact that the people all over the country, whatever may be their caste, sex, gender, align together for a common objective, that is, to be represented and governed by the elected candidate. Vote? Why should I vote? It's not going to make a change anyway. This is a statement often heard from thousands of young people all over the country. Some believe that their vote will not change anything because of large amount of people who do vote. Every vote counts, although many of the young people do not think so. The vote is precious. It's the most powerful non-violent tool we have in a democratic society and we must use it. The voting is the experience of a commitment to ourselves, to one another, this country and this world. Every election is determined by the people who shows up. Never doubt that a small group of thought, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Bad officials are elected by the good citizens who do not vote. Statistics today shows that the amount of participation of politics by young people is reducing every year. There are few factors that contributes for this national-wide problem. The most prominent of this is the children and teenagers do not care about politics. They feel that they have better things to do. It's my opinion to take part in national election and politics because our future depends on decision and action of young people. Thank you.
A warm welcome to one and all. This is Yogalakshmi from class 9th C. So today I am here to talk on the topic every vote counts. Before moving on into our topic, let me know briefly about why should we vote and what is the importance of vote. While there are people who generally cast their vote and many sit and relax on their voting day, while there are many casual voting for their particular candidate, and others and others make a suggestion the government should change this and that. So instead of blaming, we should choose the right person which drives our country forward and still upholding our Indian tradition. The election may come and go with a half of the population participating. The highest votes recorded in the year 2014 at the rate of 66.4% for the Lok Sabha election. This meant many people does not exercise in their votes. Your vote can play an important part in the change. So instead of not voting, click on Nota, which is none of the above, if you are not satisfied with any of the parties standing up. Nota vote counts. If a majority of people votes Nota, then the party will next majority will come to the power. Now let me jump on into a topic, that is every vote counts. As I told earlier, Nota vote counts and every vote counts. Though it seems like an endless sea of people there to vote, but when the national attitude change from my vote does not make a difference, the number increase and multiple of people will make a difference. So we meant to note from this that is, as a democratic country, India is built on the foundation of election. So it's our right and responsibility. It's our right and responsibility to vote who we want to rule, elect us. Thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is M. Vishnupriya and I am here to give a speech on the topic Every Vote Counts. History says that in Tamil Nadu, people's representatives were elected by the Kudavole system 1500 years ago during the reign of the great king Parandaka Choran. Their names were written on the palm leaf and kept in the jar, from which the child would take the palm leaf and declare the person whose name is in it as the winner. Nowadays, they vote by ballot and by electronic ballot. In the future, online voting will also be introduced. But nowadays, the average numbers of votes on the voter list is merely 50 to 70%. Is this correct? Others neglect their national duty. Our votes are very precious. Our votes is very important for all the elections, be it the Panchayat Council, the City Council, the Legislative Assembly or the Parliament. How? Every vote of the elected member of Parliament is important for the Prime Minister's election. Every vote of the member of Parliament is important for the President's election. Every vote of the member of legislature is important for the Chief Minister's election. We must understand that every vote is important. We vote and elect the legislature, who vote elect the Chief Minister. This means that we elect our Chief Minister. For the people, for the happy life of the people, for us, for our posterity, for the noble, for the good, for the visionary, we should think and vote and fulfill our national duty. The one-finger revolution must not stop by our lips, but manifest through our emotions and life. We should elect the well-responsible and the well-educated personality. We must prove that our votes are worth a large number. We shall do it. Let us live in love and peace. Thank you.
Greetings and salutations to one and all. This is me Rohit from class 10. I am here to propose my speech on Every Vote Counts. Well, election is a selection of leader for next few decades, but voting rights are the cornerstone of our democracy and fundamental operating system of Indian Republic. Owing to significant challenges to voting right, today threaten to hold back democracy on electoral and legislative levels. A common question that arose in all of our mind is that why do we vote? What is the reason to vote? The sure and absolute answer is that it is our right. As a democratic country, India is purely built on the foundation of election. Our parliament and legislation are of the people, by the people and for the people. Voting is a constitutional right that we are privileged to have. We have taken it for granted. But Constitution has given this right to select whom we want and the right to make changes. If citizens do not vote, they relinquish their right to represent a government. A democratic government draws its legitimacy from the citizens who elect it, and this legitimacy is threatened when few citizens exercise democratic right to vote. And the most important key issue which has taken place in 2017, Virginia's House of Delegates. In 2017, the control of Virginia's House of Delegates, the swing from the Republican to Democratic Party, has came down to single vote in one race and was eventually resolved by picking up one candidate's name out of ceremonial bout. And other important key issue which has taken place in the same year is Atlanta's mayoral race. The winner of Atlanta's mayoral race eked out an 832 vote victory, or less than 1% of all 92,000 who cast their vote. Election make fundamental contribution to democratic governance, because direct democracy is a form of government in which all political decisions are made directly by the entire house of qualified citizens is impractical in most modern societies. The democratic government must be conducted through representative. Election enable voters to elect their leaders as they want and to hold them accountable for their performance in office. The democracy is based upon the conviction that there are extraordinary responsibilities in common person. One systematic obstacle that stands out in turning non-participant voters into non-voters is requirement of identity proof, and perhaps its strict unthinking implementation, something that definitely work against the poor, illiterate and minorities. In 2004, for instance, among non-voters, 40% they said that they did not have correct identity proof. The number came down to 16% in 2009. Election also reinforced stability and legitimacy of political community. Like nations' holidays commemorating some common experiences, election link citizens to each other and thereby confirm a viability of polity. As a result, election helped to facilitate political and social integration. With this, I end my speech, and before that, the first and foremost thing is that think before you ink. Thank you to one and all.
Happy greetings to all of you watching this video. I am Hari Prashant of class 10 here to talk about a very great topic that is not only very much important for us, it is a topic which is very much important for the whole country. Electoral literacy for a stronger democracy. Electoral literacy and democracy, not only these two words are in a rhyme. It is very much evident that electoral literacy paves way for a stronger democracy. The democracy which we are enjoying now in this generation did not come so easily. It is the result of the hard work that was put by the great leaders of yesterday. So it is a must for us to eliminate all the challenges of Indian democracy, and contesting in elections is also not an option. Let me justify this point of view in the next 1 minute. People must be made aware of elections, and they must also, the election process must be so transparent that even common people who does not have elementary education could understand it. This is called electoral literacy. Everyone can do it. How? Even we can make illiterate and ignorant people aware that we are living in a democratic country and everybody has the right to vote, and it is a common duty of a citizen to elect a representative. So we must also ensure that everybody in our surroundings do vote during the elections. And it is also in the recent 2019 general elections, it is a happy news to hear that the recent 2019 general elections recorded the highest voting percentage, that is 67%. This is a great success for election commission, but even the remaining 33% must also be able to come and vote. From senior citizens to physically challenged people to non-resident Indians living in abroad are able to vote now through posts. So each and every people, every single citizen must be made free to cast their vote. And also the election commission must make the election process so transparent that all the people know the candidates they are contesting in their particular constituency, and so that they know which poll they must go and cast their vote, and also what are all the identifications that they must take with them during the election process. So only when all these things, people are made educated in all these things, free and fair elections could be ensured. A free and fair election means the appointment of leaders of people's choice. Leadership by leaders of people's choice in turn means the governance of people by themselves. This is nothing but democracy. So the point I am trying to stress from the beginning is that only when as much people as possible are educated about election, India could become even more democratic country, because electoral literacy is a must for a stronger democracy. Thank you.
A hearty welcome to everyone present here. I am Soumya of class 10th. Today I am here to present a few words on this topic, electoral literacy for a stronger democracy. India is a democratic country with a federal structure of governance. The officials at federal, state and local levels of government are appointed by the process of free, fair and systematic election process. The voter strength in India accounts to almost 900 million voters, which is more than that of other democratic countries in this world. Of course, we need educated minds for free and fair election process, but only educated minds cannot make India as a democratic and a powerful country. Today, female literacy rates 65.46% in India. We need greater participation for stronger democratic country. Educated ones can guide uneducated people, whereas uneducated people can run the government. India got independence in 1947 and the general election process started in 1952. A survey says that from 92 to 2004, only half of the population in India participated in the general election process. For example, in Tamil Nadu, only 44.65% votes are registered. We need greater participation for stronger democracy. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Happy day, respected judges, my opponents, faculty members and the audience, whoever watching this. I am Phoebe Immaculate of class 11. I am here to present a speech on electoral literacy for a stronger democracy. Democracy is not a spectator sport. The vote is precious. It is a powerful tool given to every citizen of a democratic country. Ignorance of a vote in a democratic country impairs the security of everyone present there. We must understand that ballot is more stronger than the bullet. Many times people think that whether it is wrong if one does not vote. Of course it's wrong, because it is a right and the responsibility given to every citizen of a democratic country. Before inspiring people to create awareness about election and voting, we must remind the people of the nation about how is it in various democratic countries of the world where common people are agitated to get franchised, whereas in India, in spite of various criticism, we are granted adult suffrage. So we should use it very wisely. In fact, India's democratic vision is said to be the most gambling in history. Though time has cured very many problems, the nation's people have proved themselves to be responsible and successful being a democratic citizen. Yet there is a lacune since poverty and illiteracy continues to be a fatal issue in our country. We should help our government in educating the people in poverty and the illiterates so that they get educated about the election and the voting and the benefits of it, so that we get maximum participation and a fair play in the upcoming elections. Though government is taking very many measures, from my point of view, it would be proved fruitful only when every citizen of a country listens to the beckoning call for greater participation for a good governance. Thank you.
Hi, I am Devi Sri. I am here to explain you about the topic electoral literacy for stronger democracy. The democratic government is said to be the kind of government it ensures the active participation of the people where the citizens get the chance to choose their government. The candidate or party whom the people choose is through election. Therefore, we see how election play a pivotal role in the democracy. The party which secures the highest number of votes in the election process forms the government for the next term. That is why we see how elections are greatly crucial for a development. Election process in a development. The election process in a democracy is usually similar in most ways. It is responsible for the shaping of the government of the democracy, India, that takes place in every 5 years. A committee is set to monitor the whole electoral procedure from the voters. During the election process, various parties enroll themselves to contest in the elections. After through campaigning and move dates and decided on which voting happens. People turn up in great numbers to cast their votes to make the candidate or party win. Most importantly, in a democracy, the election process follows the method of a secret ballot. It is very benefit for the maintaining the fairness of the contest. Moreover, they also protect the privacy and safety to the voters, as they are not liable the answers to anyone regarding the vote. This is one of the fairest way to decide who win the election. Importance of election democracy. The election process just show how important and crucial it is for the democracy. The process is very grand and take place on a great level. As it requires a lot of work and attention, there are certain people who specifically get the responsibility of handling and managing the certain process. Election from the basis of democracy. They are very important as they help the people in getting a chance to contest the election. It allows people to get a fair chance to work for their country and make a bright future. Moreover, it also ensures that any person can become a part of the government without any discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, sex, religion or more. Most importantly, elections entrust a big responsibility on the shoulders of the citizen. It helps to empowering the citizen of the democracy who see that when a person ensures the right to vote, they close the government responsible as they realize the power that lies within the hand. Above all, the election process ensures fair play. They are a great way to preventing dishonest people from right the procedure. It shows, in short, fair and regular elections are a virtual part of the democratic government. Similarly, they empower the common citizen of the nation to elect the government and also change it after a period of time to ensure everyone works for the best in the country.
Good day. I am A. Adrian Anto of class 12 of Amalorpavam Higher Secondary School, here to share a few words about every vote counts. We people in our life would have often heard about the words democracy, democratic country, democratic government and etc. What is a democratic country? A country where people of that country has the complete rights to choose their leader is known as a democratic country. India, even our motherland, is also a democratic country where we, the citizens of India, has all rights to choose our leaders. It is well and good that we have rights to choose them, but how do we choose them? We do choose them through elections. Yes, elections. The first and foremost thing that strikes our mind when we hear the word election is vote. Yes, the fundamental right that every citizen of a country has in his hand. Vote, just a 4-letter word, has huge power in it. Even if it is so, many people ask that when we have rights to vote, we also have rights to ignore it. Why should we spend our time, our valuable time, standing in large queues, stressing ourselves to cast just a single vote? Is there a great change that's going to happen with my single vote? For these questions, I have an answer. Yes, of course, voting is our right, but it is not only our right, it is also our democratic responsibility. As a family member or as a family head takes care of his family, we have the responsibility to take care of our nation. Voting is a very important part in the process of our democratic governance. So, without sowing anything, we shall reap nothing. Likewise, without voting in an election, we shall not expect our leaders to fulfill our needs. Also, the ink which is being smeared on our index finger on the day of election does not only show that we have casted our vote, but also it symbolizes that we have done our democratic responsibility successfully. Many people ask that a single vote doesn't make a great change. Yes, of course it can make a great change. I'd like to say 2 incidents. The first incident, we all know very well about Adolf Hitler, a famous dictator of Germany, a person who triggered the fire of Second World War. Such a person was elected as the leader of Nazi army in Germany in the year 1921, where he won the post with a difference in just a single vote. The second incident is when monarchy was abolished in France in the year 1792, there was a question that will France be under democratic governance or under military rule. In such a situation, democratic governance won the place with a difference in just a single vote. There is a national attitude that my vote doesn't change anything. So, only when this national attitude changes, the number of voters will increase, the number of votes will increase, and the change which we are expecting will happen. And that's why even in educational institutions, we have electoral literacy clubs to engage students in creating awareness about voting. Also, in India, Election Commission is taking several steps to launch various programs to create awareness about voting and engage the citizens of India to cast their votes responsibly. I'd like to conclude with one thing. Voting is very important, but it is much important to vote honestly and in an ethical manner. Getting bribed for vote or bribing people to get vote is worse than anything else. So let us be honest, let us cast our vote properly and be a proud citizen of India. Thank you.
Good day to one and all. I am Moksha of class 12th D from Amalorpavam Higher Secondary School. Before starting my speech, I would really like to thank my school and the Electoral Literacy Club for giving us such a good stage towards the elocution and also the responsibility of citizen towards vote. Today my topic which I am going to speak is about electoral literacy for stronger democracy. I would like to start up by telling the meaning of each and every word in this topic, because each and every word in this topic has its own meaning which describes a democratic nation. Like electoral is nothing but the elections through which we select our leaders of the nation, and whereas literacy is educating people. So totally electoral literacy means educating people about the voting for stronger democracy. And later we are linking this education towards our democracy so that it can make our democracy more stronger. But the question would arise that how can a simple process of voting make the whole democracy stronger? Because it's through voting only we select our own representative of our nation who rule it. So indirectly it means that we are ruling our nation, because the representative which we select through our vote, through our right to vote, is only ruling the nation, and he is able to rule the nation only because you have voted. So how can you abandon voting so easily? I think once in a 4 year there is one day known as a voters day, in which we the people have holiday just to do our democratic responsibility, and our democratic responsibility is to vote. And while voting we abandon it so easily, like that's a holiday and we should enjoy it. How can we the people of India be so careless and still we blame the national leaders for the word developing presiding over our nation? I mean to say that still we know India as a developing nation, and we tell that it is not our mistake, it is the mistake of the social and political leaders who are sitting there and doing nothing. How can we say so easily that they are not doing anything, whereas we the people have chosen them as a leader? Because we are able to tell that they are doing nothing only because we have abandoned voting. Abandoning voting and speaking is very easy. Just why can't we, instead of speaking behind, why can't we come forward and put our one vote to one correct leader and make this developing nation into a developed nation? Because seeing in all other fields, India is nowhere behind in the world. India is walking towards development, and it's walking along with the development. Now today when we compare India with the whole world, it's no behind. It's with the world, it's with the developed nation. But the one developing world would not precede India for longer days. And it would take very less time if every one of us understands our responsibility and put one vote. Yes, one vote can make such a big change. And many of us think that among 135 crore people, why should I vote? How my vote can overcome all the 135 people? I would like to ask them, how do you know whom are other people voting? You just vote what you want to do, and maybe the party or the people you vote wins the election and gets the power to rule the nation. And if he rules the nation, it's proud to you also, because you have selected them. And if he does a very good job, that is, if he brings the nation to a good position, it's that you have selected him and you have made him win, so that only he is able to sit in that chair and rule the whole nation. I will always tell that there was one generation where people were very excited to vote, where people themselves came forward with no election commission, with no force, with not even knowing that it's their right, just to select the leader because they wanted their nation to grow. They wanted their nation to be the most developed nation and the strongest nation in the world. And that's why today India is the most fastest developing nation. And I would tell now, what are we people doing? When we know the importance of voting, when we have a commission for the voting, when we have some deserved people for this voting process, we aren't voting. Knowing the importance how this vote can change the India, we aren't voting. Why? Why is this? There was a generation which people voted even without a commission. Only because of those people, today we are standing here. We are living in a country which is known as the most fastest developing nation in the world. And today I would like to tell that having known everything, we must vote so that our next generation can proudly tell that I live in a country which is the most developed country in the world. So with this, I, Moksha, would like to tell that every vote counts, and voting is not your right, it's also your power to rule the nation. You indirectly rule the nation through the power of voting. With this, I, Moksha, would like to tell everyone to take oath to vote this time in this elections and make the country, the state or any locality you live the most popular locality and select the best leader for India and for everyone. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am glad to see you all through this great opportunity. My name is Santana Lakshmi and I am from 12th I. I came here to share some few words about the topic electoral literacy for a stronger democracy. Electoral literacy for a stronger democracy is the theme of 10th National Voters Day 2020. Every year, January 25th is dedicated to the voters of the country. The day is utilized to spread the awareness among the nation for promoting informed participation in the election. What is meant by electoral literacy? Electoral literacy is a process that provides legal information about the electoral process ongoing on that land. It is a platform of transforming citizens into an empowered voters by helping them to understand the process of voting in a clear way. This enables the citizen to make a better understanding on their rights and demands. Election Commission conducts various campaigns in schools and colleges to enrich the power of voters through their votes. Education is most important. Education is the most important pillar of any society. More education means more civilized people. Similarly, democracy is the key of any civilized government where the leader is chosen from the people, for the people and by the people. Now, if a person is selected and if he is not educated about his people, he would never be able to perform in the true spirit of democracy. So, I am strongly telling that electoral literacy plays an important role in the democratic government. By the word democracy, the first thing that comes to the mind is by the people, of the people and for the people. By the people is only possible when the people of their nation are aware of their concepts of election and respect its value. In a country like ours with a skyrocketing population, the voting process lies in an oblivion of ignorance. More than 70% of the people are illiterate voters. They have no clue about the election. Before the election, most of the candidates running for their election to these unsuspected people, they even misguide them on how to cast a vote. As a result, fake votes, ragging, fraudulence reigns the Indian election system. If the people of their nation are not educated about the election, the India can never emerge as a country by the people. So I am concluding that electoral literacy lays down a stronger base for a stronger democracy. Thank you everyone.
Happy day one and all. This is Saubarnika of class 12. I am here to share my views on electoral literacy. Which is familiar with every one of us and not well known to few. My primary focus is on voters' turnout. When the first election was held in India in 1951, India reached a record of 47.5%, which gradually increased a graph of 67%. Do you think this increase in rate is sufficient? Well, I would say it is not. Do you think people have become unpatriotic? No, definitely not. They were either unaware of their vote and right of their vote. That is why Election Commission of India initiated Systematic Voters Education and Participation Program, better known as SWEEP, to impart knowledge about election, on how to vote and what is the limit to vote. SWEEP's effort to try to make the people realize that each and every of their vote has a potential and can change their country. And there are other people who are politically aware, do not want to take part in election because they are disliked towards the candidates. This is the hindrance which we face, and it is need to be a greater for the people who are not willing to vote. This hindrance should be find a solution for this. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. My name is Amalorpavam of class 12. I am proud to speak about the topic every vote counts. most beautiful governance system of the world is democracy. In a democracy, the people has the most power as they select their rulers. The primary duty of each and every citizen of a democracy is to vote. Voting is the expression of our commitment to ourselves, one another, this country and this world, by Sharon Salzberg. As per Sharon, voting is our commitment to ourselves and to the people of our country and the world. As a democratic country, India is built on the foundation of election. In the 2019 general election, about 91.1 crore people were eligible to vote, and voter turnout was about 67.1%, which is the highest ever, and as well as the highest ever participation by women voters. Even though it was the highest ever voter turnover, about 29 crores of people did not cast their vote. The difference in percentage of votes received between the winning party and the runner-up party is 17.9%, which is less than the percentage of the people did not cast their vote. Though it seems like an endless sea of people are there to vote, but every vote counts. In 2004 Karnataka Assembly elections, a candidate won by just one vote. Rajasthan Congress chief C.P. Joshi lost 2008 Assembly election by one vote. In 1800, Thomas Jefferson was elected president by one vote in the House of Representatives after a tie in the Electoral College. When the national attitude changes from thinking that my vote does not matter, then the number increases and the multitude of people vote can make the difference. The responsibility lies on every individual. Thank you.
I am Nubesh from class 12. I am here to discuss the topic every vote counts. First, I am going to discuss about power of voting. Voting in India is a constitutional right and it is permitted only for the persons who are above 18. Voting is the agent of change. If a citizen of India thinks that the government is not performing their duties up to their satisfaction, they show it by against voting them. So the same party won't rule for the next 5 years. Reason why every vote counts. If you thought of skipping the voting line because you think one vote doesn't change, stop right there. Remember it, every vote counts. Imagine as like your father, mother, friends, grandparents, etc. start thinking like you, and there will be a huge reduction in voting percentage, which literally comes from the one vote. If you think you can change the other's life by voting, yes, you can do it. May you have access to food, water, housing and other necessary things, but think about the people who are deprived of basic human rights and other things. So you can change the lives just by voting the right candidate. At last, you know the importance of one vote, which will change yours or either's other life. So choose a right candidate, those who are deserved for the country. Jai Hind.